Hey guys, Grant here, and today I'm with Brandon Bradley, the owner of Bradley Seamless Gutter. And how you doing today, brother?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'd be doing better if I was up there with you in the moistures.
That's right.
Tell me a
Yeah,
little bit about that. What's the deal with that? Where's that at, and how are you involved in that?
yeah. So before I started my gutter business, I did some oyster farming. Some family friends of mine that have been in the seafood industry uh, our whole lives and their dad's whole lives. They did it. I got in on it a little bit. Realized I was not much of a waterman, I guess you could say, and
Okay,
started the gutter business. So. Um,
oysters are like one of my favorite foods, for sure.
I've grown up eating them every way you can imagine, but yeah, it's kind of in our regular diet as well.
Is that a family thing as far as that post you just made, or is that just a local area there, and you're friends with all those people?
So that's a family's what we call a fish house, right? So that's kind of where they had just brought them in off the boat and we were processing them. Or
Man,
I was talking while they were processing them.
yeah, I was gonna say I've been eating while they were doing whatever they were doing.
Yeah, that's right.
So good. Okay, so family's been in seafood. Tell me a little bit about. Is that what your dad's in? Is in seafood?
No, my dad was in the trucking industry, right?
Okay.
So he had owned a small trucking company most of my life, um, and then kind of just retired from that. And then yeah, I was gonna do it, and then kind of realized that I didn't really want to do that either. So some other friends of ours was in the construction business. He was a Class A general contractor and a roofing contractor, and that's kind of where I kind of fell in there and started doing a lot of metal roofs and some framing and that type of stuff.
Okay. So I know that we just had you on with Tim talking about, how you got into the business, the beginning. I want to chat with you a little bit more about the other side of the business, and that's the underground drain side with you. I see you do really well with that. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, more or less about some of your data, because you appear to be doing really well with it. You're also in the gutter growth program. And so I understand some of your numbers and stuff. So I'm really excited as well to talk about how you're going to kill it in 2026. Let's talk about the underground drains though. What percentage of jobs, let's say full wraps? I know you get some repairs and stuff just like we do, but of full wraps, what percentage are you selling the underground drain on, do you think?
Um, like what, like per foot, or kind of just
No, no, like just what percentage of jobs? Like on half of them? Are you 1 out of 10? Like,
well, I mean, on that number, I don't exactly have, but I know it's
okay,
become about 40% of our of our revenue. Is
nice.
um,
Yeah,
it may only be one job, two jobs a week, but the revenue is a
but
lot
they're
higher.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so you've dialed in your margins really good on that. You're also probably all selling them when people are getting to know to call you just for drains. Has that happened?
yep, that is as we started focusing our SEO and stuff towards that, it is definitely we're getting quite a few calls just for drainage, French drain, underground drainage, all that good stuff. So
I
um,
love it.
we started to getting into like the French drains, where they got the soggy spot in the yard and they're trying to
Hmm.
collect it and drain it to the ditch or dry well, or however we got to go about doing that as well. And we get it, man, and that's what started driving it and sparked the light was you know I didn't know gutter companies did that, or I don't. There's nobody else in town that really does this, and I'm like, well, there's the need, right? I
There's
just
the
gotta
need.
fill
Yeah.
it. So that's kind of where had came from, and
You've kind of learned as you went with it? Because I know that's how I first learned drains a while back. Was I hadn't even worked for a company that done drains. I had did worked for a gutter company the first time I did drains, and I just said the company I work at doesn't do it. I'll be more than glad to do it, on the weekend. And that just progressed over the years into more research and education. How did you come about like feeling confident to sell it to the customer?
I pretty much the same thing. I have, I guess, like a lot of us, I have a pretty good knowledge, just a general knowledge on watershed and how to redirect it, and kind of
Yeah.
looking at a landscape and telling where the water's coming from, what
Hmm.
the bottlenecks are, where the erosion is happening. So, when I started off in business, I was obviously installing the drains, the gutters, and all of that. But now we've hired somebody that has way more experience than I have in it, and he is really good.
That's what
He's
I
been
was
doing
going
it
to
about
ask.
he's been doing it about 15, 20 years, so he's well rounded on it. So
Yeah, and the work looks really good. I noticed the way you guys are doing your trenching. I had to learn some of the things the hard way too, like maybe not depending on the region you're in too, if the digging's hard or easy, etc. But just utilizing your tarps the right way so that cleanup is done well, or not cutting too big of a hole or throwing the dirt everywhere. Just the little things. I noticed on your uh, reels and stuff that you share, you keep a really nice, clean everything when you're doing gutters, when you're doing drains. Talk to me a little bit about. It seems like that's something that's important to you. Don't seem like you have sloppy like job sites. What's up with that?
I, I am a very I wouldn't call it OCD, but I'm extremely ADHD, right? So if it's not exactly laid out and nice, tight, and neat, then that leaves room for me to get distracted, right?
Yeah,
But in the drainage, that's kind of the selling point, right? Is a lot of these people have put a lot of time and money into their yard, right? And
yeah,
that's like
yeah.
the last thing they want to do. They know they need the drainage, but they really don't want to cut up that yard that they've put so much money into or time. So yeah, that is kind of the selling point that we'll cut the sod and set it aside, and all that good stuff. But as far as like on the gutter side, yeah, man, if when I was doing installs, if I didn't have everything laid out and nice and neat, then it would drive me crazy. So
That's the same as me. I want to jump back a little bit. I remember the couple of the first conversations that me and you was having, prior to even gutter growth. And you was on the truck for sure, and you just didn't. I think you was really trying to figure out what was next for you, and we know what those conversations were like.
yeah,
uh Man, times have changed a little bit. You're pretty dialed in, you're excited about what you're doing. What outside of gutter growth, we know that network and that accountability we have towards each other, same as me to you, the accountability I have to give you the proper information, that all that always creates magic. But like, what's really drastically changed, you think, in the past 2 years for Brandon Bradley as the owner of Bradley Seamless Gutters?
honestly, man, I've just a lot of accountability, right? Is kind of where I've gotten from that, and then also kind of just this, it takes a while to start feeling your success, right? And I'm not saying that as in like you just live in it and now I'm done, I've done made it. No, that's not what I'm saying. But it takes a lot of that stress off when you realize like a lot of okay, these levers are leading to what I thought, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
time to start harvesting a little of that fruit and kind of relaxing a little bit. But yeah, so I've you know I would like to tell you that I've just got really into fitness or really into religion or whatnot, but neither kind of one of those is true. I am
Okay.
religious, and I wouldn't say that it has changed a whole lot. Like I've always been, kind of a religious person, but I think it would just be realizing that, all that time and that grind is starting to pay off, right? And that's
Let's
just
go.
made it a little bit easier for me to realize that it is working. Like you're not just doing this for no reason and spinning the
Yep.
tires. It's actually leading to the goal, and that was kind of what it is for me. So.
You own some Airbnbs. Do you have any other businesses as well besides the gutter company?
Um, no, not officially. No, I don't.
Okay. You got any aspirations? What's going to be next as you continue to dial in? I mean, we don't ever say it, and here at Mothers or anybody that we coach, like it's never a set it and forget it, right? Like, okay, you start a gutter business 3 years later, you just go to sleep and the money just rolls in. It's a constant dig. Even look at our close friend, mentor, coach to me, everybody, and you, Corey J. He does a tremendous amount of business, and he's in the pits, in the trenches every day still getting it dialed in and figured out. So this is a lifelong journey. Do you have anything else as you get the gutter business dialed in that you're really looking forward to doing? Obviously, family time, but like more professionally.
Real estate. We're really trying to dial more into our real estate portfolio, right? That's
Nice.
kind of where I want to get it.
I
That
like it.
seems to be our next interest is we're kind of dabbling in it now, but we
Hmm.
really want to, and that's kind of what we've been saying is once we get this dialed in, not that we can just set it and forget it, but that we have more time to focus on maybe something else that that's the kind of the route we want to go. So
Correct. Yeah, well, when you can depend on a certain net coming back every year from your gutter business, you'll also know how to invest it, right? And you can start to prepare for the next few years because you understand that your market share is there to stay, right? Because you're going to keep doing the same actions with small tweaks, whether that be on marketing or your branding, et cetera. Share with the listeners, where are you located?
we're out of Tallahassee, Florida. So we're
Tallahassee, Florida. He's up there in the capital, getting it done. How's the market feel up there?
what is it?
How's your market feeling up there right now?
As far as like strength and staying busy, I think it's a pretty good market. I, the only thing I would kind of say about it is our population, right? Tallahassee's a pretty small city, right? So where the medium income and stuff is good and people are still buying, there's just not a whole lot of people to keep, per capita. So it is.
Yeah.
I feel like it's good. We're in our starting to get into that slower season. Closer we get to Christmas, but we're still staying pretty strong. Um, I know it seems to be the last 2 months has been kind of rickety, maybe up and then down, up and then down.
Mhm.
But compared to what it was last year, our numbers are much better. So we're not we're not struggling as much as we were last year.
Yeah, I don't want to call you out on this or anything. So, just a just a feeling or whatever. Me and Lisa will be running. I think it's in a week or two. The mastermind about getting prepared for next year. So you don't miss meetings. You're a Mister Punctual, 100%. I love that about you, and that speaks to your accountability, the actions that you're trying to take in the mastermind. So I'll be excited to see you there. But just a little reminder to come prepared to talk about your numbers for next year because that's going to be exciting for you to dial in on those numbers and then hit them no matter how big or small. I'll be bringing ours for Mother's Gutters. Lisa will be. And I think that's going to be my favorite meeting this year for one that I run. It's because it really helped me understand how much people want to make. We keep talking about that gross number, but how much do you want to keep off of that? Which is going to be really interesting to see if we can get you guys taking home more money in 2026 and helping us with that by bringing your numbers to the table so we can get you dialed in.
Yeah. So yes, for sure. And then we've been kind of putting it all back into it, right? We
Yeah.
live a very below our means most of the
Well, I thought
time.
you was going to say you're a very boat life.
No, we live we live very 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 below our means, and we keep putting it all back into the business. But we've started talking more about let's see what we can take out kind of for ourselves, and
Yeah.
that's kind of getting you get a little bit of that imposter syndrome of kind of like, well, what does that number look like, and is
Oh,
that yeah. So we're
I think
excited about
that
that.
right there. This. Do you have? Are you a reader? Or are you a Audible?
I'm an Audible. I'd be lying to you if I told you I could read that well. To be honest, Grant.
No, that's all right. And I'm the same way, man. I've made it this far in life by just pushing, but uh, this type of book, I'm going to challenge you to buy it on Amazon and actually read it. You don't have to tell me if you did it, but I'm going to give you a personal challenge. There's some books and there's some stages in life, and I feel that you are in that chapter, brother, where if you could just commit to knocking out 269 pages, you in the book means you showed up, you were accountable, you did it. There's a challenge to you. This one right here is one of those ones that's worth it.
Yeah, you'll have to send me the link to that.
I will. So that's exciting. Yeah, you deserve that because you've been putting in the grind. So let's talk a little bit. What's in the grind for 2026? You're currently offering full seamless gutters, right?
Yep.
And guards protection. You're also offering underground drains. Are you in lighting? Do you have any plans of getting into it?
I've tossed it around, and we kind of waited a little bit too long this year. We
Mm-hmm.
were having a little bit of labor issues
Yeah.
about mid year, so I didn't do it this year, but I have really been considering it. So
I feel the same way. Tim's in lighting. By proxy, I'm kind of in lighting, but
yeah,
I'm not. If I didn't know Tim, I'd be nervous about getting into lighting for two reasons. One, whether I was an owner or employee over the past at least 20 years of my 30-year career, I've never seen a day off. So I don't know when you're supposed to open this lighting department in your gutter business when you're already completely busy enough. So I have some head trash about that, obviously. And then I'm like, Mr. Picky, I feel like you can't just hire a bunch of your buddies to go hang Christmas lights. And so I'm like a little nervous about it when I think about it. I always tell everybody else, yeah, you should open lighting. It's a great idea. But there's a vulnerability moment. If it was just mothers and no partners and no Tim, and I didn't watch him do all this great stuff, I would say, I'm going to stick to what I know. And I don't know Christmas lights, right? I mean, obviously that's why you get training and coaching, but
yeah,
just a vulnerable moment for me. It's a little nerve-wracking.
I'm kind of the same way as like I hear a lot of it advertised as like, when you get slower in the winter, and then I look back at the last 2-3 years and I'm like, there's not many days we just didn't have anything to do. Yeah.
Right. And we're already trying to hire people, labor. It's not like we have a surplus of workers, right?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It's like it's not like I just going into those 3 months around winter that I have 2 or 3 guys that are just twiddling their thumbs and I'm just paying them to stay busy. No, they're actually still busy doing gutters and guards and stuff like that. So and then hiring seasonal help, to me, I don't know. I've never done it. I don't how I don't even really know how that would work. But
yeah. And I don't want to go down now, obviously, seeing what Tim's done, $250,000, then $500,000. He did $250,000 in his first year, then $500,000. I know the margins. He just did my house, and his employees, they do some sign work for us and stuff for mothers. Those guys just crush it work-wise. Of course, it's a no-brainer now that I would get into lights.
Yeah, for sure.
But not for the past 10 years. I'd have been like, no way. I'll stay in my lane. I do gutters only. I'm seeing people do really well on it.
I have too.
It's like I don't. it's like I almost don't want to miss out on the boat.
And now I'm seeing since it's kind of got in our circle, I'm seeing a lot more from gutter guys that are now adding
They're
that
all
to
doing like,
their winter revenue in that 3 months or 4 months, whatever your time frame is
yeah.
on that.
Well, and if you get into the permanent lighting, right, like Chris, I mean, now this is a full year round. Again, didn't want to make this too much about lighting. I was curious where you were at. Well, so what other services will you offer besides drains and gutters? We blow off roof.
Yeah, we definitely do our roof cleaning and gutter cleanings and inspection. I kind of bundle it all together and sell it as not just a roof cleaning and a gutter cleaning, but an inspection as well. So we'll inspect the roof. We take pictures of any of that damage,
Mhm.
put a report together, and send it over to them.
Okay.
And I've noticed that's really helped a lot with driving the margins up on the cleanings. And it's also kind of helps keep it more um, reoccurring, right? Instead of just
Yeah.
that one cleaning and then done. I really try to get them into that at least once a year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Especially during hurricane season, I always tell them it's a good thing to have it inspected before hurricane season. Get your photos. That
Yeah.
way you'll have something to go against your insurance company if you have to.
Hundred
Um,
percent.
there's no prior damage. We have pictures that this damage was not here last month. So yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
which I've had that happen. I've had homeowners call and say, "Well, thank you," or the next time we came out to clean the roof, they were like, "We had to use those pictures. State Farm was giving us a hard time, and we had the
Yeah.
document that we've
Oh,
had."
that's amazing. Yeah.
And it really drives the price up on that cleaning. It's not just a guy blowing off the roof and getting back in the truck. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing. He's trained to look for, things like that. So
Yeah.
it does help.
Okay. What else will you get off into over there? Like if someone wants you, do you do any pressure washing or
I,
something like that?
I don't, as of right now, I don't.
I'll
Like I
tell you
said,
one thing that first got me into pressure washing 10, 15, I would say about 15 years ago. I was working in Orlando for a company that did underground drains. And we had this job we got for this apartment complex, and we had to dig next to the sidewalk. Basically, I mean, we had hundreds of feet, and we had the ditch witch in there, and it was kicking dirt up and all this. And it was like, well, how am I going to clean out the sidewalk? So I had to buy like a little pressure washer. We bought the first little pressure washer. I mean, again, 15 years ago or whatever. And I didn't have the right knot. I mean, I was just sitting there like cleaning in 1 inch at a time, you know. And so I ended up buying a bigger one. Long story short, I ended up buying a fairly decent one so that we could obviously clean. And then after that, I was like, well, we own this thing. Now, when we do drains, we want to be able to clean up really, really well if we're buying any concrete. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
And then it just kind of turned into, and we absolutely do it at Mother's. I think Lisa will release a video of a job we did last week. I closed a $8,600 job, and the guy was part of the reason that he went with me is because I noticed that the bottom 3 feet of his concrete home just had that brown rust stain on it from no gutters, from the sprinkler, from no gutters, from dirt splashing back. And I knew in my head the pressure washer we have is really nice, and it would probably take 20 minutes. Go no chemical. I don't want to kill anything, but just clean his home. You've now got these brand new gutters all the way around. We also rinse off your home on the 2 street sides. Oh, really? Man, I just got a quote for someone to do that last week, and it was like $450. I said, I'm just trying to earn your business. Well, you got it. So now it's like he called back and he wants his whole entire driveway sealed. I mean, it's a massive house. And he's like, you can do the pool deck and the driveway, which also turned into, I don't know if you saw, we did that pool deck drain on that job when we first opened Mother's. Came in and cut the pavers. So then he's like, oh, I need a bigger one. I mean, this guy's got like, I don't know, the pool's got to be like 40 feet long by 20. I mean, it's a math. And so just that little pressure washer action. So Mothers were definitely doing gutters and pressure washing. That's for sure. And just kind of that's how that went. So I was curious. The margins on water there.
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine that does it, right? So I mean, I've tossed it around, you know what I mean? Another one of those things, but I'm kind of where I'm at now is like I want to get what I have really dialed in before we
Yeah.
bring on
Yeah.
something else to do. Like you're saying, Christmas. pressure washing and Christmas lights. It kind of goes hand in hand. You're about the same kind of labor. You know what I mean? So I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't really made it there yet.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Refer it to him. He does a great job.
Yeah,
we
beautiful.
we all look good. So he also sends me a lot of work too. So
no, that's fabulous. If I had someone like a buddy local that did it, I might not be so inclined. And I'm not looking to like do roofs and decks and driveways and all this. But what I am liking right now, because average price per foot here in South Florida, you know my area right here in West Palm Beach, Boynton Beach. I mean, the next couple biggest companies are at about $550 for 6-inch gutters. Bro, I want it. Boy, and I'm serious, man. I'm so tired of it. But they do what they do, and we're getting, we're averaging, I'd say, $9.50 to $11. But I also charge for the hanger, I charge for the corners, I charge for the end caps. So
yeah,
I'm probably 11 to 13 all in. They make it easy because of drip jobs. We communicate extremely well and we show up. But that 550 stuff down here, man, driving from bigger companies. Like I get Chuck in a truck, owner operator. I do. I know where there's money to be made at $5.50, $6. We all respect that, right? I mean, you run out of your garage, you do the sale, you do the install with your little brother. You can make some good money like that. That's fine.
Yeah,
no
for sure.
But these bigger companies, man, around here that are at $450 on new build.
I've seen it too, man. I've been experiencing it, and it's
I'm at 13, and I'm gonna rinse your house with this pressure washer. That's what I'm doing. So
I've started. I've as well thought about it. Usually, like you're saying, that's something you see out of like a Chuck or somebody just getting started. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But
I just call it a full-time job. It's a full-time job that pays really well. That you have a lot of endless hours. Chuck in a truck. Totally respect it. Nothing wrong with running a small business out of your garage with your wife and taking all the equity out of it every year in the form of $138,000 or $170,000 payroll. That's fine. But you're not providing jobs for other people in that sense, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of when I started doing my math on it, I'm like, well, where did the insurance go? Where did the workers' comp go? Like, how are you? Anyway, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's cash money. It's a cash money. It's a cash money paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm talking about like the larger companies that are charging $6 a foot. It's like, I mean, it's not adding up for my numbers. I mean, you have to get a lot better deal on material than I do.
I mean, it has to. Even the material percentage offset doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a lot of mismanagement of companies is what's absolutely happening, especially in the large grade like that, where you're doing these David Weekley homes, these Pulte homes, and they're giving you, I don't know if you ever played that game. I used to play it. I understand it. You just, if the owner really knew the liability versus the actual money that was coming in with the wear and tear on the vehicles and all that, as well as the retention, they probably wouldn't even do those.
Yeah, there's that DR Hortons around us, big time builder. But they've come to us several times, and it's like, they're way too far off on the numbers.
Where do they want to be up there, if you don't mind sharing?
About 550s.
Yeah, they want to be 550.
Somewhere in there.
I mean, if they gave me all homes that were 950 feet of gutter plus 1,100 feet of downspout, like 30 of them in a row down the street, I might entertain 550. Not a million little front entryways on, no, I'm cool.
Yeah, it's not really. I did a job for an AC guy. They own an AC company, and they've been contacted by them, and it's the same thing. They're like, we couldn't even. The numbers were way too far apart to even come close.
Things are going to change with that. I mean, as unfortunate as the whole political situation is in our country, I know you care about people. I care about people. But our country's changing. And a lot of people like the direction that it's going in. And that is going to have an effect on the work environment because of the industry that me and you are speaking of, which is the construction industry. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm curious to see how prices will change as labor prices change and things like that, at least during this current administration moving forward, because they're choosing, the people have spoke to make some pretty drastic changes. Just as a side note, I'm curious to see what that bottom tier pricing expectancy as this changes because of what the administration's doing. You know what I mean? If they are able to do that for the next 4, 5, 8, 10 years, you're going to change the economy of the construction industry's payroll expectancies, because people are going to come in and charge more, which is going to make these bottom dollar price per foot for Pulte-DR Holden homes go up. Just curious to see how, this is going to have a long-term effect on wages. So hopefully it's a good effect, right?
Yeah, no, hopefully it is. I know, yes, I agree too. I think it should make the wages go up. It should make the value of labor go up, especially when you don't have anybody to do it. It's got to be worth a heck of a lot more.
Well, and in turn, then citizens here can spend the money here. They can buy a house and they can buy gutters, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I know the aluminum's going up. It's continuously going up. I don't.
Hey, let me tell you this. I'm going to share something really funny with you. As you could probably imagine, I get and have gotten amazing deals on metal for many, many, many years. I've represented all of the companies over the past like 15 to 18 years. And I ride with Spectra. Those are my friends. We've known each other for quite some time. They've done amazing things for me. But even myself, metal is like, what's going on? Like, you finally get the call, we're like, what happened to my bill? And they're like, act like they don't know me anymore. Who is this again? I'm like, it's Grant. I'm supposed to be 5 cents cheaper than anybody else. Oh, we can't do that no more. You know what I mean? It's because the prices are just going. I get it, So I'm right there paying along with everybody else, man. And here's my thing. Yes, it's unfortunate, the current pricing, but I can't control it and I cannot change it. And so I cannot dwell on the price that I'm paying. All I know is I'm not scared to charge $9 to $13 a foot in South Florida, where the average price is, 5 to 7. I'm not at all. And the consumer isn't scared to buy it. You've seen some of my numbers in the collective. I've just gone, and I'm still on that trajectory in the past 2 weeks of sales. I mean, insane numbers. Why? I believe in my business. I'm the owner, right? We know that it's owners have higher numbers, because they believe in it. They're not an employee selling someone else's dream. But they all know that their car note, insurance, mortgage, electricity, food, Publix is out of control with the prices on food. That's the biggest. Let's talk about Publix. What the hell is wrong with these people, man?
Oh my gosh, dude! I love Publix, man. I honestly, I really won't go anywhere else. But yeah, you're right.
They're making. I'm a foodie, and they're starting to make me think twice. And I never look at the bill when it comes to money, groceries, dinner, nothing ever. And I looked at the last 3 or 4 receipts at Publix, and I told my wife, I said, if we don't eat, you can have that McLaren. We can make that McLaren payment every month. If we don't, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, no, wow. It's getting ridiculous, man. Especially beef. We've been tossing around getting buying like the half cow or whatnot, just because it's like,
get it from Ryan. Or you probably got connections, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have heard that. And last time I didn't think they didn't have any ready. Like,
hey, we can split one. We'll talk about it offline. He's gonna have one in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. He just took them in.
Yeah. So much cheaper. I got some local prices on it, and I was like, $4.75 for the half a cow. I mean, you're getting T-bones for $4.75 a pound, right? So it's like, oh my god, that is so much cheaper. So much cheaper.
So that's the way. That's the strength of just using your brain. So coming back full circle here, we'll wrap up. I appreciate your time today. Sorry, but I get off on tangents sometime. What can we expect out of you in 2026, brother? What's your thoughts? How can I support you? And what's gonna be big?
Well, you put me on the spot there.
What do
really,
you want to do? You want to gain 1%? Let's bring home 3% more net. Let's add,
yeah. So, and
10%.
that's what I was going to get at. Is it 2026 is not going to be necessarily like that explosive like growth, but more of like let's just dial everything in a few notches and get this thing running, like a sewing machine, right? It's just
Yeah,
really, and then in 2027 we'll add, we'll try to add more to that gross revenue.
I like
That way
that.
we'll do it without we'll know what we're doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And getting to this point, honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing, right? So
Mhm.
2026 for me is like, so 2025 we met the gross number that we were wanting to get to, and now it's time to focus on really dialing that in, really
Okay.
getting those numbers together, and like I said, pulling those knobs to get it where we want it, right? So yeah, so hopefully by the end of 2026, you'll see a well-oiled gutter machine with tons of SOPs and tons of systems and stuff to really mainstream everything to get us ready for that million and a half, $2 million mark. So
Yeah,
I, I
y'all.
I don't believe in explosive growth. Like I'm not that kind of person that's like,
Yeah,
let's just blow this thing up, right? Like I really
yeah.
want it. That causes me a lot of trouble up here, right? So it's like I really want to dial it all in before we get there. So, but yeah,
I like it, man. I'm really proud of you, how the way you've shown up this year. Like I said, I don't think you've really missed a single meeting, and that's we're coming up on 52 or whatever 56 meetings here soon, and so you've just been absorbing, and I know that about you, and I like that, and I think Brandon and Crystal, powered with Drip Jobs and Spectre, and the people at Tallahassee, you're going to do very well for yourself. So,
yeah,
um,
those two relationships right there are hard to pass up, and I kind of wanted to just to touch on those just for a minute.
let's do it.
Um, those so that that relationship with Drip Jobs is phenomenal, right? It really mainstreamed our business. Um, there's a lot of other ones out there that can do it, and there's always that question of, is it this CRM or that CRM? And for me, it is. I know Tanner. I've shook Tanner's hand. I've talked to Tanner. I don't know who owns any of those other companies. I've never
Yeah,
talked to them. I don't have any relationship with them. But I know that I can call Tanner if I ever had a problem, but he has a great team around him to where you really don't have to. But um, that is like a selling point for me that is really not gonna ever.
owner accessibility is super important, which is why I bring a lot of these people to the table, because knowing the owners is some people, oh, Grant just bringing his friends in. I mean, there's a lot of people in the industry. There's a lot of products that are not on my shelf, but the ones that have been true and tried and tested, you see, we're using them in Mothers. We're happy you're using them over there. I know you're probably going to bring up Spectra.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing with Spectra. It's like we get approached all the time. From all of our suppliers that we have any kind of account or relationship with, and put pricing aside, right? Just the uh, like I know the owner of Spectra, right? I've shook his hand again. I've shook his hand. I've talked to him. He,
Yep.
would probably know who I am as well. So,
Yep.
I don't know who. I mean, I know Danica owns ABC, but I don't know her, right? Like I've never met her. I don't know who owns Service Partners, right? So, like that type of relationship is really hard to come between, and they have really good pricing too. So it's hard
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. The
When I
customer
tell my
service is fabulous over there.
Yes, absolutely fabulous. And not just that, but just the willingness to work with you, right? Like, to say that I haven't been behind on my account before would be, a lie. But, just that phone call, not a problem. We got it caught back up, right? And it's, no big deal. But yeah, it's just that willingness to work with you, and that you don't get that at other supply houses. I don't get it.
The 100%. Scott Whaley talks about that all the time. He talked about it at the last two summits. He really drove it home this year with the way they want to partner with you. And I have to be transparent. I mean, I was a big fan of Senox in Texas. Certain things, their material, but for many years at that San Antonio location, I had to unload my own semi to get something that I had been BS'd about for weeks and weeks. And then it just Toby over there just pulling his damn hair out, not being efficient. They weren't partnered with me. I was just a customer at the bay that was suffering due to just little things that they needed to fix about their business, and it cost them myself recommending them to hundreds and thousands of business owners around the country. And Spectra has that part figured out 100%, that they're partnered with you on being successful. And then mistakes can happen. Spectra doesn't claim to be perfect, but I don't think Cenox or ABC claims to be perfect either. But when I'm at those other companies, the majority of them, I'm just a customer. But when I'm at the bay at Spectra, and I've been getting deliveries for forever from them, I'm a partner. I'm a friend. I'm a person. I'm not a number. And I think that that's probably the same way you feel, as well as people like Lacey and Beth and Scott and Chris. These people are wonderful people.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they absolutely have an amazing team. And like you said, to say that they've never made a mistake would be, they've made a few mistakes with my order, but they, like I was telling service partners the other day, they overcompensated when they
do.
They gave me 25% off my next order, and I made a big order the next time, right?
They give you. They love to see you win because they know that means that they're also winning, and that's okay.
Right, and like I've had Scott reach out to me and give me a discount on an order just because of a Facebook reel post, Facebook reel that I made, with their products and and my child in it, right? Like it resonated with him enough to reach out and be like, this is somebody that we really want to partner with. Like we want them to know that we see, their day-to-day life and what's going on and all that good stuff. So it's like service part, ABC is not going to do that. Cenox is not, you know what I mean? They don't have that relationship. So it is.
Well, we're glad you're a part of the family, brother. Gutter Grove, all of it, man. Thanks for hopping on today. Let's chat about a couple things offline. Maybe I'll give you a call this evening. I want to come up. I want to come see you. We haven't got to hang out, and now I want the oysters, so I'll come while they're fresh.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely get you hooked up with some oysters. I don't know if you eat stone crabs, man, but I've got a really good plug on stone crabs too.
Come on, man. No, I got to get up. Maybe I'll come up Friday or Saturday or something. Let's chat.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. It was good talking with you.
Later, buddy. Bye.
Bye.